I am about to attempt one of the craziest Minecraft challenges ever conceived. Today we will be starting in Minecraft version 1.1. This challenge will be in Superflat and there will be no structures whatsoever. This just so happens to be the version of the game where Superflat was added. So not only is this a very old version of Minecraft, but also the entire world is made up of only 3 layers of dirt. Now I need to be very clear about this. There is no way to get a tree sapling, there is no wandering trader, and there are absolutely no villages in this entire Minecraft world. This means that everything but the dirt below me must be collected from mobs, and animal spawns are actually pretty rare, and that is bad. Normally, I would grow some wheat and carrots in order to breed the animals, but without tools, there is no way to do that. Sadly, I am forced to punch the poor creatures into oblivion and collect the raw meat, but this will not last forever. Having no way to cook the meat means that I will need to eat a lot of it in order to keep my hunger at bay. So every pig and cow I see must be killed so that they don't wander off into the endless grassy plain. Pigs and cows drop meat, but in this very old version of Minecraft Java, the sheep do not. The only thing I can get from sheep is wool, which is a nice block to decorate with, but isn't something that is going to help me much with survival. Despite that, I'm going to gather a few wool blocks now while I have the food and energy to do so. Realistically, there may not be many animals spawning in the future, so the best time to get anything is now at the very beginning. The most important thing to have in any hardcore world is a sustainable source of food. My brain can be my worst enemy at times, and the only renewable food sources that came to mind were spider eyes and the forbidden bacon. For those of you who are new to the channel, the forbidden bacon is the name me and my viewers have given to the rotten flesh that drops from zombies. As the sun set on my first day, a solution to my dilemma had presented itself. People have been insisting that I AFK next to a chicken for eggs since my hardcore nether challenge. The stars have aligned and this seems to be the perfect time to do exactly that. I will AFK here in this hole and wait patiently. Don't panic, chicken. Everything's gonna be okay. The monsters can't get us in here. I can't tell if it's freaking out or if it's just super excited. After a trip to the kitchen to make a sandwich, an egg made its way into my pocket. So I decided to spend a few hours, and then my pockets were full. This is really good, but the downside to this is that the slimes can still somehow see me and have gathered above the chicken and myself. Lots and lots of slimes. Without a doubt, the hardest thing to deal with in any Superflat challenge. Not the slimes themselves, but the noise they create. It's enough to drive anyone insane. After a while, I decided to remove a dirt block and take a look at the insanity above me. Good thing that the tiny slimes can't do any damage because they are easily able to get into a 1-block space. I tried tunneling away, but these things stayed right above me. Good thing I'm smarter than the slimes. Trapping them was easy enough. All you need to do is dig out a hole large enough to fit them and remove the ceiling. Unfortunately, there were so many that only a few got caught into my trap. No worries, because I have even more tricks up my sleeve. Looks like the slimes aren't the only ones able to see me through the blocks. Spiders can't fit through a 1-block space though, so this is a good way to get some string early on. Just in case you don't know, string can be crafted into wool, so it is definitely worth the effort for some free blocks. Punching spiders for half the night made me very hungry though. Unless you have plenty of food, it's best not to waste your energy. Slimes are aggressive but slow. The best way to get out of this situation is a long tunnel. Next step is to start a base where you can hide from the mobs. The green death cubes aren't going to leave you alone, so try to be quick about it. Hey, look, some free bacon. Don't mind if I do. Speaking of free bacon, a new group of pigs spawned, giving me another opportunity to get free food. After that, I returned to the hole and continued digging away anxiously. In no time at all, the slimes had started to close in on me, so I forced some of them into the hole and gave up on it. Spending the whole 100 days underground is not ideal, especially when it comes to making a challenge video. In the event that you do want to watch me spend 100 days underground, be sure to check out my Hardcore Caves Only challenge from the previous month. I promise you will never see the sun in that whole video. Night had come once again, and even though I did manage to dig another slime trap, there was still no base to call home. Back to the chicken tunnel it is for another night of egg collection. Clearly, the chickens were tired of being underground, but I forced them back into the small space again only if you died in the process. Now when I say a night, I mean a whole real life night. Decided to break every egg collected so far to spawn as many chickens as possible. This maximized egg profits and guaranteed that there would be an endless supply of raw chicken in the future. It was time to end the suffering of our subterranean poultry and leave this feathery mosh pit once and for all. Because of all that time spent digging underground, my inventory is cluttered with multiple stacks of dirt. Get out of here, dude. Thank goodness too, because the only thing that's going to save us from the green squishy death is a wall. The slimes can't get over a 2-block tall dirt fence, and even if a couple spawn inside of it while we are away, they won't be too difficult to handle. A safe spot to AFK is absolutely essential if you are going to try this challenge. Next step is digging up all of the dirt inside this wall. The main reason that I did this is because the mobs aren't supposed to spawn on bedrock. What started as a wall has now become an obsession. Everything in Superflat looks pretty much the same, so finding your way around the world can be very difficult. That's why this wall will slowly become a giant dirt tower. Seeing this thing in the distance should make navigation much easier. Mob drops work a bit differently, and there will be no weapons or armor from zombies or skeletons. Dirt is my only friend here. Upgrading the world to a newer version had crossed my mind, but then it wouldn't be nearly as challenging, would it? It is time to build an automated egg vending machine. Simple enough, you just need a 1-block space with a 2-block tall border so the chickens stay trapped. Be sure that you have collected a lot of eggs and try not to kill any hatchlings. After that, we just need to occupy ourselves and wait for the chickens to grow up into adulthood. The dirt supply is starting to get a bit low. If only I could speed up the aging process. Might as well trap myself close by so that all of the eggs will get picked up. Some of the chickens managed to escape while I was breaking the eggs, but that's okay. These slimes are not gonna stop, and the dirt collection tunnels may have another use. Apparently mobs do spawn on bedrock. Time to smash some toes once again. Anyway, as I was gonna say, these tunnels where I've been collecting dirt could easily become a moat for the slimes to get trapped in. Plus, that means we will also get even more blocks for the big dirt tower. Digging in these tunnels has become a bit frightening. The mobs are very deadly when you do not have armor or weapons. Even if the skeletons could drop a bow, there is no way it would last. Oh no, a creeper spawned down there. I'm just gonna keep working on the tower for now and try to think of a solution. Maybe I could lure it up here and knock it off the edge? Oh, it despawned. Thank the Aether. Daylight has returned and work on the moat continues. However, there does seem to be a few obstacles walking around in there. The rest of this will need to be done very carefully to avoid getting cornered by the enemy. Good thing they're dumb. Too bad there is no way to keep a skeleton from despawning. Could use one in a zombie farm. Not that a zombie farm would do me much good at all, but it's a thought. The moat is taking longer than I had hoped, but we really need it to make life a little bit easier. Soon my raw beef will be gone, and that makes me sad. The rest of this challenge will involve a ton of raw chicken. Better make sure I have plenty of eggs. I have decided the best way to finish the moat is from outside the base. However, this spider insisted that I stay inside the base. Or maybe it just wanted inside, I don't know. Having a pet spider wasn't on my bingo card, but there we go. The moat seems to be working. Some of the slimes are already getting trapped. Stay strong, ankles. Okay, now I just need to dig away a 3-block border from around the tower. Then every slime that spots me will hop right into it and be trapped forever. Why are there so many spiders? Stay back. Have it your way, demon. Oh, I punched his eye out. Time to feast on the beef of victory. As the sun sets, my work reaches near completion, which brings me much joy. It may not seem like much, but when your whole world is dirt, anything can make you optimistic about the future. The moat isn't completely finished, but it's very close. Dirt house with a dirt door. I should have known that you would turn against me, my pet. Rest in peace, Mr. Spider. Oh, and this is how you get eggs from the vending machine. Nighttime is a perfect time to spend working on the build. Now, when the morning comes, I can climb down and go out exploring. Good news! I remembered bones can be ground down into bone meal. It's just too bad that I won't be able to plant any seeds. Spreading grass and flowers around the flat world will make the place feel much more cozy. On top of that, the flowers can be used as decoration as well. Looks like some more sheep have spawned, and that means more wool. I continued using the bone meal until it was all gone. Just then, an idea hit me. What if I made the world less flat? Would that cause less slimes to spawn in those spots? Even if it doesn't stop them from spawning, it might be able to slow them down a bit. Also, it gives me something to do while waiting for day 100. Something else that helps pass the time is tossing a ton of eggs at the walls of our dirt tower. Did you know that spider eyes can be eaten? When starting this challenge, I thought that spider eyes were going to be my main food source. They do hurt you, but can actually heal you, believe it or not, as you can see here. With no dirt for the tower, my night was spent looking over the wall and waiting for morning to come. The next day, I wasted no time and went right outside. My goal of making the ground uneven had to continue. Digging up random blocks is a good start. Poking holes in the ground is basically phase 1, but then placing blocks in random untouched areas will soon follow. Anytime you see animals spawn, just kill them so that more may spawn in their place, because there is a limit to how many that can exist. Having 20 or more chickens at all times doesn't really help with that situation, so call them as often as possible. Never kill the chickens in your egg machine. That would be game over. Being bored can cause you to do very strange things, like plant flowers on your dirt staircase in alternating colors. Not really sure why I thought this would look good. Very little work had been done to the land around my tower so far. I'd better pick up the pace tomorrow. Quit distracting me, you. I have a long day ahead of me. As I continued to dig holes, my mind began to wonder, what else could I build using only dirt? And how many wool colors can we obtain? I already have white, black, and gray. Flowers provide red and yellow dye, which can be mixed to make orange, and bone meal with red dye makes pink. That being said, wool is pretty scarce. Building anything from wool of a significant size is going to be very unlikely unless a miracle happens. Let me know in the comments section what you would build if stuck in this particular challenge world for 100 days. Found one of my old tunnels and it was filled with monsters. Now I'm wondering when mobs actually stop spawning on bedrock. This failed shelter from the beginning still serves as a good slime trap. Another day gone and another batch of eggs collected. Progress is slow, but everything is going very good so far. Time to use the wool I've collected to make a chicken pen so that chickens aren't dying in the walls or roaming around my base the entire day. We can even set up a sort of mini game here. There we go. The Banclam Superflat Chicken Fidget Time Pacificator rolls right off the tongue. Don't forget that creepers can be a big help when trying to unflatten the landscape. Yes, creepers are dangerous, but it's not the ones that you see, but rather the ones you don't see that are the real problem. The amount of times that it has rained during this Flat World challenge is actually insane. Rather than going AFK every night, maybe digging a tunnel to collect more dirt will be a wiser use of our time. Goodbye, chickens. I hope you grow up big and strong while I am away. Digging a long tunnel is fine, but going back home in the tunnel is out of the question. Going up and out isn't very safe either, but I live to see another day. Seeing that tower in the distance fills me with joy. I knew this would be a good idea. Fixed the wall as soon as I got home. Looks like the chickens have all grown up, so the time has come. The time every Dirt World chicken dreads, but knows is coming. What can I say? It's me or them. A few more hours of destroying this terrain will continue, and then I can start placing blocks. Little stacks of 2 or 3 dirt blocks will follow next. Before you know it, this place will resemble a wasteland. A wasteland somewhat inspired by Azumavoid, who built a very impressive wasteland in an old season of Hermitcraft. I know some of you are probably tired of hearing me bring up Hermitcraft, especially those who watch my streams. The reality is that if there was no such thing as Hermitcraft, there would be no Banclam. Watching the Hermitcraft members build and create inspired me to step into the realm of Minecraft content creation. So yes, I am obviously going to mention them from time to time. This tower has certainly had enough work put into it. For a while, I thought about building it all the way to height limit. However, there is much more to be done, and the end of this challenge is getting very close, so I need to focus on some of the other things before time runs out. Getting down from here has been more and more risky as time passes. This bridge really needed to be extended. A nice staircase at the end of this thing would also be ideal. That should give me plenty of room to avoid the slimes whenever I leave home. That is one big dirt tower. Time to run around aimlessly and slap down some dirt blocks in between the random holes scattered about. More holes will be dug in time, but for now I just need to do something different. Sadly, the slime spawns do not seem to have slowed down much, if at all. However, their mobility has definitely suffered. If I could wish for one thing right now, it would be a bed so I can skip the night. Being forced to AFK for 10 minutes between each work session is beginning to take its toll. Along with the constant squishing sounds, I hope it hasn't made the video unbearable to watch. Started placing flowers on the sides of my bridge because it was looking kinda bland. Even in the rain, it looks better with the addition of the roses and dandelions. Soon the grass will cover the bridge as well. A couple of piggies had spawned in the distance, so I ran over to them and saved them from a life of suffering in this endless plain of green flatness. Trust me, this is the peaceful end. You don't want this harsh life, piggies. Another night had come, along with the demise of many more chickens. I am starting to wonder how many chickens I've killed in total during this challenge. Which reminds me, this version of the game does not actually have a day counter. So in order to see the day counter, this world will need to be updated, but I won't do that until the very end of this challenge. Don't be mad, but yes, I'm placing more dirt down. Super exciting stuff, I know. That being said, I think it's high time for a new project to begin. As you can see, the slimes have definitely slowed down around here. More dirt needs to be collected so the new project can begin. This also makes a new hole to trap some of the slimes in. Make sure you leave some overhang so that the big ones can't get to you. Now, I have seen people build dirt pyramids in their Superflat worlds before, but they are always the same shape and style. Something I'd like to see is a Mayan-style pyramid in my dirt world. Now, there is almost certainly going to be someone who says that this has been done before. Well, that might be the case, but like I said, I have never seen it before. Like it or not, this is what I'm doing. Not everything has to be one of a kind or unique, you know? There is only so much that can be done with dirt blocks. Honestly, I am straining my creative muscle a little bit here. Feel free to drop me some ideas down in the comments section below the video. If I like the idea enough, it may just get built in the next Flat World Challenge. Oh yeah, I do plan to update this world and continue in the future. We aren't at the end of this yet though, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. As soon as this build here is done, there is another one to work on. That's not a very nice sight to see first thing in the morning. No thank you, creeper. The only thing to do now is build the staircases. I'm going to need to work on each side a little bit at a time because the slimes actually hate me. No worries though. Slowly but surely, I have gotten used to working around them. Compared to the several hundreds of days spent in the Nether, this isn't so bad. Alright, this is the last staircase and then I am just about done here. Now we just need the room on top of the pyramid and this beautiful structure will be complete. You know, having only one block to work with is teaching me how important shape can be. From now on, I think my build should have more depth in the design. Finally, this place is all finished. Just look at that. So much time has been spent in this area that Endermen are starting to spawn and tear up my builds. The next build is going to need to be a few chunks away from here to prevent any further destruction. This should be just about far enough. So I bet you're all wondering, what is coming next? Well, it's going to be a mob farm. A few times in the past, I have built a mob farm without having all of the materials needed to build a mob farm, and somehow it still worked just fine. Not perfect, but fine. Usually, you need water and trapdoors to make the mob farm work, but I have a good feeling about this. Mobs in this version of the game do not like standing still very long, and will definitely push each other around. If they don't wander off into the drop chute themselves, then a buddy will certainly assist them. Luckily, there aren't any baby zombies or chicken jockeys in this version of the game. There should be no worry of any monsters getting out of the farm. Something else I am glad we don't have to deal with is phantoms. Sure, they are kinda cool, but with no bed, they would make this challenge insanely difficult. Time to escape down the tower I built in the middle. I can't finish the farm and escape from inside because the mobs would drop on me. Plus, there is no way to AFK by this thing without a slime border. Once again, a 2-block high wall is enough to deal with them. Now I can tower up and finish the roof. Just think about all the stuff we're gonna get from this thing. Tons of bone meal, and all of the forbidden bacon you can desire, without ever having to leave the safe spot. The moment I reach the bottom, this thing should start producing. Just when I thought I was completely safe from dangerous mobs, they proved me very wrong. So a wall isn't going to be enough to stay safe, obviously. That's why I built a tunnel. Oh, and the mob farm works pretty good. I'm even able to take advantage of the skeletons shooting creepers, leading us to obtaining a few music discs. There's no way I can listen to them, but I do have them, and that's pretty notable. How did I forget about spiders? This problem is easily solved with a single dirt block. Plus, we get string, which means I can craft more wool blocks, and you know what that means, right? That's right. Colored wool for more colorful builds, even though they won't be massive. Just the thought of Steve being able to build his pink wool house in this challenge made me chuckle a bit. Now I'm gonna build myself a proper home from these new materials. My house will not be pink, but red, with a touch of yellow. It just occurred to me while editing this that if I waited long enough, then I would be able to build a McDonald's in old Superflat. Kinda wish I had done that, but it's far too late now. The roof is made of dirt, and dirt won't hurt. I made a dirt couch so I can watch the wool TV, and with that, my little home was pretty much complete. This is one of those challenges that will push you to your absolute limits, and even though it's tough, I do recommend that you at least try it one time. Wait, there's one more thing to do. Build a dirt stack to the world height, and use an ender pearl to get down. That was probably the scariest part of this whole video. I survived over 100 days in the oldest Superflat world. Don't believe me? Here's the day counter. I want to thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you all next time, and until then, stay golden.